But would you introduce yourself to everyone in the audience?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Evren Ozka, and in 2015 we started Mallet London. So we're a footwear brand predominantly. We started here in the UK. We have 120 points of distribution in luxury stores around the UK and 230 points of distribution globally. So we're in the US, South Africa, Asia, Middle East, Europe. So yeah, it's been a fun journey, and looking forward to talking about it a little bit.
And when you think back to like the early days of Mallet, like what did you believe in so strongly that kind of kept you going even before like everyone else believed in like the vision for the brand?
I think in the beginning, I mean, there was always a desire to be successful. There was always a desire to be this like well-known kind of global brand. But in those days, we were just thinking about that day or like the next day or like the next thing. And for us, when we started, it was like, right, how do we get into department stores? Mm-hmm. So we started off, I mentioned this a little bit yesterday to the people at the dinner. We started off in a store called Choice, which for us, that was like where we used to go shopping as kids, and it was a real destination. So we started to do that, and then we started to go into other more kind of well-known department stores. Again, it was just like, it wasn't this massive, like, long-term 10-year, 15-year goal. It was like, right, what can we do today to, you know, to grow? And it was more about not necessarily trying to prove people wrong or to, like, put it out there for people. It was more like, let's put stuff into the world that we think is cool, like putting stuff out that doesn't exist yet. So, yeah, it was a good time thinking back, yeah.
And you've built a culture around like the brand, haven't you? Like, how did you build that emotional pull, and what advice have you got for other founders or operators or brands that are trying to do the same thing?
I think that's just being true to your core values. So our brand is called Mallet London. So obviously we're from London, and London is kind of rooted in every single thing that we do. So anytime we're going to do like a partnership, anytime we're going to do like a collab, we want it to really make sense and resonate. We don't really want to do stuff for the sake of it, because we get approached by brands all the time. We got approached by one last week, actually, which was a really well-known American brand, but it just didn't make sense for us. So we always want to do things that can relate to our core consumer and that really make sense. And I think that there should be, like for us, there's definitely a story to tell behind every single thing that we do. So, for example, like the shoes that we make, they're all named after streets or areas that we grew up in around London. So we're not just naming them for the sake of it or calling them numbers or anything like that. Even this shoe here, I'll show you this shoe.
It looks very new, that shoe.
This is a collab that we did with a brand called Zellerfeld. And it's a 3D printed shoe. It's done totally with computers. And if you see the line work here, does that remind you of any buildings around London?
I'm not a Londoner, I'm a Mancunian.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Well,
someone help.
Yeah, you can't see it from here, but there's a building called the Gherkin.
I do know that one, yeah.
Okay. So that's what the line work is based on around the shoe. So that's a shoe called the Neptune, and we incorporated it into this shoe as well. So obviously looking at that, no one can really tell, but for us, it's like, okay, that has an element of DNA that feels authentic to us and that we can talk about and communicate. And we're proud to do that. We're proud to be from London. So I think that's how we've been able to, despite becoming global, we're always trying to, you know, be true to who we are.
And what's been one of the toughest moments that you've faced as a founder, and how did you get through that?
Haven't really had any tough moments. It's been easy the whole way.
Yeah, right.
That's a joke. I think the toughest moment, and this is a cool story. So when we were trying to get into Selfridges, that was a really interesting time because we'd already been in a few department stores. We're trying to get into Selfridges. Selfridges was this like massive goal for us. And we were trying all different kinds of ways to get in. Nothing was working. And then we had an agent at the time, and he finally got a meeting with this guy, Ben, who Ben actually works for us now, which is it's an interesting full circle moment. But wouldn't give us an appointment, finally got the appointment, and then before he went in, I said, listen, do whatever it takes to get into Selfridges. Like whatever they say, just say, yes, we'll do it, whatever. Like if there's an opportunity there, just get in. So this agent took it upon himself to make a fake stock list. So he made this stock list of, I think it was around 900 pairs of shoes that didn't exist. Because what happened was, Ben, the buyer at the time, he said, listen, we can't take on new brands now because of the timelines, we used up all the budget. But if you have stock, we might be able to do something. So he went back, made this stock list with 900 pairs, put it for, and he's thinking, oh, they're going to say, all right, we'll trial 100 pairs, we'll put it in the store, let's see if it works. But Ben turned around and said, oh, nice, okay, we'll take the 900 pairs, but you have to deliver them in 3 weeks. And if you can do that, you're in. So we're sitting there. We can't say no because obviously we're not going to get into Selfridges, that's the first thing. The second thing is we're going to lose credibility because we've effectively lied. So I had to make those shoes in 3 weeks. So it was a challenging time. So basically we were making our shoes in Turkey at this point. And I basically was sleeping on the factory floor, making sure that the sole units were getting there on time. Like it literally was like 3 weeks of zero sleep, making sure that it comes in. Where's the materials? What are we doing? Where are the sole units? Oh, the sole units are coming on Monday. Not accepting that, go into the sole unit factory, making sure that they get out. It was a really difficult 3 weeks, but it was worth it because we managed to get them in 3.5 weeks, not 3 weeks. But I don't know if anyone's involved in manufacturing, but that's like a little bit unheard of to do it in 3 weeks. But we were able to do it, and yeah, we got into Selfridges, and that was the story.
And it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was tough, but worth it. Yeah.
And looking at some of your collaborations from like Reebok to Swarovski, what's been like the real secret to partnering at that top level?
I think people ask that all the time, and it's like people want to know like, oh, how do we do the outreach, or how do we communicate to these brands? Who do you have to speak to? And I think the thing to focus on more is like, how do you set the foundation? How do you set the conditions so that those conversations can evolve a little bit more like naturally, a little bit more organically. Mm-hmm. So for Reebok, it was a no-brainer because they're an English brand, and it kind of made sense to us. It kind of spoke to us, especially for me as a founder, because we used to wear those for school, like the black workouts and the black classics. We used to wear those for school, so that was like really cool for us. And then yeah, TFL was another big one, obviously another London brand. So I guess it's about doing the partnerships that make sense for you. And yeah, I think it comes back to trying to be authentic and try to stick with your core values.
Yeah. And you're about to embark on something a bit different in the next month or so, Guinness World Record?
Yeah, I think I've got 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks.
Tell everyone a little bit about what you're planning on doing, and then how has that like same mindset of endurance and resilience like carried you through being able to run such a successful company? Yeah,
so in 4 weeks, I haven't actually announced this yet, so this will be, I can talk about it, it's fine. I can say this, I'm going to be running across 3 different countries, and it's around 900K total. So I've done similar things before, but so when we started the brand, I lived a very different lifestyle, and I was only focused on like making the brand as successful as possible, and we all were, the whole team was. So like my health suffered, I was very overweight. I was like 30 kilos overweight, smoking every day, drinking every day, because the brand was successful, but my health had kind of took a toll. So I sort of done a 180 and got into running and stuff. So I've been able to do ultra marathons and break world records and stuff. So yeah, next month I'm going to be trying to break 3 more in like 2 weeks. So it's a big challenge. But anything that, are there any runners here? Does anyone run? No? A few. But for me, running has, like, the better runner I can be, the better entrepreneur I can be. And the better I be as an entrepreneur, the better I can be at running, because I believe that talent is not required for either one, because it all comes down to not wanting to give up and just pursuing that thing. And it really helps me in business, because when I'm doing like these mad, like long distance runs, there becomes times on there where you're like, everything is going wrong right now. what am I going to do? But then if you gather yourself up, take a step back, take a deep breath and say to yourself, right, no matter what happens, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep on moving forward, no matter what. That's really powerful, and that kind of resets you. And it's the same in business. Like, we go through tough times all the time, and it gets overwhelming. Everything's going wrong. And founders will know this. Like, sometimes it just feels like everything's going wrong at the worst possible time. The deliveries are late, and this happened and that happened. And it gets overwhelming. But then when you say, okay, no matter how bad it gets, I'm never giving up. We're going to get there no matter what. That's really powerful. And it just gives you that urge to keep going. So they both help each other out. So yeah, I like doing both of them. Yeah.
That's exciting. We'll all be cheering you on.
Thank you.
And if you could leave everyone in the room with like one truth about building a lasting brand, or one piece of advice that maybe you wish someone would have given you in the early days, like what would that be?
I think it's just definitely doing something that you enjoy doing. Something that, like, what would you pick to do that doesn't feel like work? Like, if you wasn't going to get paid, and if there was no material success, what would you do? Because you're going to be doing it like all the time. And I have no hobby. Like, I'm so boring. Like, I have the most boring life in the world. I have no hobbies. I don't do anything. I don't see my friends. I don't watch TV. I wake up, I do my run, take my kids to school, immediately start work. Every moment I'm awake, I'm working, but it doesn't feel like work. I'm not saying that to say, oh, look at me, I'm working harder than everyone else. It doesn't feel like that's what I'm doing. It just feels like, okay, like not yesterday, the day before, I didn't get out of the office till 11:30, but it gets to 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I'm not thinking, again, oh yeah, I'm gonna stay and work really hard today and do all this stuff. It's like, no, I've got these things to do. This is what we need to do, and like that's where we need to go. So it doesn't feel like it just kind of comes naturally. So I would say, obviously, pick something that you like doing, and then just carry on and be relentless until you get there. And people always ask, like, I don't know if there's any first-time founders who have just started businesses here, maybe, but very good, congrats. But a lot of people do ask at things like this. Like when I speak to them after, and they say, "Oh, do you think I have what it takes?" and that kind of thing. And I say that you do have what it takes. And the reason how I know is because only winners and only people that want to progress themselves will come to things like this and want to develop themselves. So round of applause for everyone for showing up today, because it is people that, winners that do want to learn and do want to progress forward. So yeah, it's good to see everyone here.
Well, thank you so much. That was amazing. Thanks for sharing it.
Thank you.